Hi friends, welcome to a no-nonsense, no-frills, no-fanciness journal making. This is a really quick and simple way to make a journal at home yourself without the need for any fancy paper or anything like that. I'm doing this because I'm speaking at a workshop to show people they can use stuff they have at home. So I just thought I'd do this really quickly. So this journal I have was made using some paper bags. This one was also made using a paper bag and some napkins, serviettes. This was like a mushroom bag from a supermarket. So you know when you buy the mushrooms in the little paper bag. And this one I made using a cereal box. The cover is made using a empty, no, it wasn't a cereal box, some sort of box. And the papers, I just used all sorts of random papers and coffee dyed. And this one has 2 signatures. But we're not doing anything this fancy tonight. We're doing a simple plain one just so you will be able to not feel overwhelmed and be able to do it really quickly. So what we have is some pages from a magazine. We have an envelope. So this is something that some junk mail came in that I got. And so we're going to get, so this will be our cover. So what you need to do is take your chosen cover. You could use anything you want. Any size of envelope would work as well. I choose this one because it's really simple. If you have scrap copy paper, printing paper at home, it folds really neatly into this. So yeah, that's why I'm using this one. This envelope, I open it at along this side at the top, and I'm gonna leave the opening. So there you have you pretty much got your book really, and all you need to do is to cover it with your paper. And for that you just need some glue stick, because you're not selling this. This is for you to make. You can use others kind of sticky glue like this one. I use this sometimes when if I'm using really thick paper, but for this one glue stick will work fine. So you simply put the glue stick on. I'm going to try to be really quick with this because I want to show you how simple it can be without any complications. That's the plan anyway. So we'll see how we get on, and hope that my glue stick doesn't finish before we have finished. When you're doing this, you want to make sure you get to the ends. I'm not fussing about the ends now because the paper I'm using to cover it for this purpose is actually shorter, so that's why I'm not worried about the ends so much. But when you're doing this, make sure you get the ends, because you don't want your paper curling up on you after a while and, you know, coming apart before you've got a chance to use your journal. Okay, so I'm simply gonna just put this down here like so and just flatten it out. The downside to having the paper not that you're covering and not as long as your envelope is that you have sticky bits at the side. So you could cut down your envelope to size, but like I said, I'm trying to do a really quick and simple, so I'm not too concerned about that right now. Oops, wrong way. So I'm just going to put this here for now, and like I said, this is primarily for demonstration, so I'm trying to do this quickly. But you know what happens when you're rushing to do something? I find that you end up making silly mistakes, which is what is happening to me now. So I'm just putting this to the side, so you've got it like this, and I will trim it up, trim this off after. I'll just cut it out actually, tear it up. Like I said, because this is a quick demo, I am not fussed about how neat it is. So you've got your cover, and I'm just going to fold it, and you can use a butter knife or the end of the scissors to just the handle of the scissors, sorry, to flatten your edges. And then I'm going to do the same on the inside, add another bit on the inside. So this time I will put the glue on the paper itself. Just have something to put it underneath it. So the cover. So you can use a variety of things. I'm sure if you look at other experienced YouTubers who make journals, they'll have all sorts of fancy things. But like I said, this really isn't for the people who are trying to do fancy things. This is for, you know, that person out there who just wants to have a go and try it out. And then you can get into the fancy things. You don't need to have all the right equipment if you're just starting out and you're trying to experiment. I used to just put random pages together just to practice. Just use old magazine pages, put them together, and that's quite a quick and easy way of doing it. And I use them, you know, to take notes and so on. And these are commonly known as junk journals, and the idea of junk journal is that you're using junk or stuff that you would normally throw away. So raid your recycle bin. I actually went into the recycle bin to get this envelope just now. So raid your recycle bin. So we've got the inside, and I'm not going to bother about the sides because, like I said, this is to show you really quickly how you can do this yourself. And I'm just going back again using the scissors. You will see, or the journal is using this, something called a bone folder. I decided not to, I mean, I'm just showing it to you now, but I thought I would just use the scissors to show you that you can use whatever you have. So I'm just going to stick this bit of paper down. I should say my name is Ramona. I am a Methodist minister, and I like to call myself an artist. I dabble in arts, and I love being creative. And I love teaching people how to do things. So if I learn something, I immediately then want to share it with other people. So that's why I'm doing this, really, so that the ladies who come to the workshop we can have a reference point to go back to if they want to have a closer look. When you're doing this, just make sure you get, like I said before, all your edges, because the last thing you want is your papers to be lifted, you know. So just because I'm making it quickly doesn't mean I shouldn't do it properly. So I'm just going to making sure my edges, and I may trim it after. To get really advanced, what I would do is use this as a pocket so you can put things into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just fold this down here. Actually, I'm going to fold it on the inside. So that this pocket that we have, you can get to it easily. Apologies for my camera angle. I just decided to do this late at night, and I've just plunked my phone on a bottle. So right, so we have the cover, and what we need are some pages to go inside. I just went downstairs and got some papers from my printer. But you can use any kind of paper that you have at home. Let me put a lid on my glue. Always remember to cover your glue. You can use any kind of paper that you have. You just need to make sure your paper is shorter and not as wide as your cover. So you fold them. Tell you what I'm going to do, because the table is white, I'll put this here so you can see. And make sure it's nice and flat. You do not want to do this quickly. You really want to take your time on this. I fold the papers individually because then I find they are a lot flatter than if I folded them, put them all together and folded them. Now there are different ways you can attach your papers, and a set of papers into your book is called a signature. So you'll hear people talking about signatures. You can have as many signatures as you want in your journal. That depends on the type of spine. For this spine, we have a simple spine, so I would only use one signature. But for the book I showed you, this one, because it has this sort of flat spine, I've got 2 signatures in it. And yeah, so I'll fold a few of these and then we'll get sorted. So that's 3, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a really good number. That's about 28 spaces to work in, if you wanted to think about it that way, because you have 4 spaces, writing spaces per sheet, and I've got 7, so that's 28. 4 7s 28. Did I say 24? 28. Right. Okay. I'm getting close to my favorite part of it, which is where we attach our papers, our signatures into a cover. I'm just gonna, you may find that when you put your papers in, you might have a bit of unevenness at the edge of it. That doesn't bother me, but if it bothers you, you can trim your papers. But this is a fairly wide cover, so you can see the spaces between the sheets and the cover as well as the bottom, so I'm not worried about that. So they're in. You could get a bit of elastic and put it around so that your pages are removable and you can add more. But what I'm going to do is to do a sewing method. I think it's called a pamphlet stitch. So I've got this pokey thing, and you can use, I've heard people saying use ice pick or anything like that. Or if you have a really big needle, you can use it as well. And I am making 3 holes. So I'm just kind of working out where I think the middle is. And I'm putting a hole in all the way through the cover. So that's my first hole, and then I'm going up a little bit and I'm adding another hole, and then I'm coming down here and I'm adding another hole, and we're going to sew that in. So you can use any sort of thread that you have. This is a waxed thread. So this is only, if you want to think fancy thing that I'm using is this, because this is what I have to hand. And the rule of thumb is that you measure 3 times the length of your booklet, your book. Cut this. And I have moved the thing, so I need to remember where it was. I'll find it. And I've got some needles that I'll use. So you can use ordinary needles. Try not to make your holes too big. I need different glasses so I can see. Oh, it's not there. Alright, anyway. Try to make your holes too big, and you don't want to use too big of a needle either. You just want it to be able to get through. Sorry, I'm trying to take the needle out and it's... Oh my goodness. What did I say about hurrying? So I'm just going to thread it. You can use, I've used string, I've used wool, any sort of threading thing. So I like to tie my string on the inside. So in order for it to end up on the inside, I start from the inside out. If you want your ends hanging out on the outside, you can do that and you start on the outside in. But I'm starting on the inside going out, and I hope I can find the hole that I need here. So we go into the middle, and I'm just going to leave a little bit, and I saw this little trick somebody did where they use a bit of washi tape. You could use masking tape, not tape, because masking tape can come off easily without peeling the paper. So maybe try to move the stickiness from the masking tape, maybe like by putting on your hands, just to hold this bit of thread in place while you sew. So I'm on the outside. I'm on the outside, and I'm going to go to the top hole. And you may need to move, if you can't see, you may need to just see where you're coming through and move your paper a little bit, but you don't want to move your paper about too much. So we're at the top, making sure it's nice and tight here, and then we are going to sorry, I'm just trying to straighten the paper. We're going to come to the bottom, into the bottom holes that we did. Oh, okay. It's not wanting to play ball with me. Okay, here we go. And like I said, your thread will move. So as you can see, this is a bit loose. So all I simply do is pull it from the inside to make it nice and taut. And then we go back into the center hole. And again, you may need to just move your... So we're on the inside down, and what we need to do is the needle needs to be on the other side of the first thread, and pull. You need it nice and taut. So I will remove that needle, put it away so I don't lose it somewhere. And so I have my string at either side. The two ends are either side of the string in the middle. Checking that it's nice and tight. I remove the washi tape, and then I will tie a double knot. All of a sudden, I've forgotten how to tie. I don't know what I was thinking just now. All right, so it's nice and tight. And then I'm just going to cut off the excess. And you could put something on the end, like a bead or something if you wanted to. But that's it. There you have it. You've got your very own homemade book that you have made with your own fair hands. This is, like I said, this is a pretty rough copy, but it was just to show you the basics. And so you have your pages and your cover, and your book is nice, and you can decorate it any way you want. You add embellishments to it. You can go around, make sure you can trim your edges, anything like that. You want to round your corners, your corners. I like to round my corners like so. You just use a scissors. Again, you don't need a fancy tool for that. There you go. It's nice and rounded and looks like a notebook. So that's it. Thank you. I hope you've learned. That sounds condescending. I hope you've enjoyed this little quick introduction to making your own journal. And like I said, there are so many lovely, fantastic YouTubers out there. But I just wanted to do a really simple things you can find around your house, not intimidating video. So thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, do click on the like, and also you can subscribe to my channel. You will notice that I'm not I don't have many of these types of videos on my channel because I'm more of a speaker, but I thought I would do this as well, and I'll probably do more of this type of thing on my channel. So thank you again, and hope you have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. God bless. Bye bye.